It's a club nobody wants to be in, a bond everyone would rather not share, but everyone who has ever lost a family member to homicide shares a connection that's impossible for others to understand.
Now an Oklahoma City woman is using her trauma to help others by leading a group unlike any other and providing a path to healing.
I came about to the group after my case was finished. My district attorney told me, hey, you probably need to talk to some like-minded people like you.
Lauren Lehman's great-grandmother was raped and beaten to death in Geary in 1983. The case didn't look like it was going anywhere until she took it upon herself to make sure Ola Kirk was not forgotten.
Her case was the oldest named case that they were working on.
After decades without an arrest, Lehman hit a roadblock.
They were working on it, but nobody could really tell me anything.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation could not legally talk to her about the case, so she helped change the law. Working hand in hand with U.S. Marshals, the Blaine County DA, and other agencies, Lehman's persistence paid off.
We were running out of evidence to test. Seriously, the last test came in days before he was going to be released.
An arrest and charge in the case, but the alleged killer died of a heart attack before he went to trial.
Quite honestly, it is the cliffhanger to a season ending of a show that gets canceled. I mean, I don't know how to explain it any better than that. The bad guy's about to get it, and then they cancel the show. I just felt robbed.
She put her screams, her fears, her frustration in this box. She calls it her closure box. But she felt called to do more for people in similar situations, creating the Oklahoma Homicide Survivors Support Group.
They've gone through the process and they kind of help people, explain what happens and that you're not feeling what you're feeling is normal.
She says the unique grief and intimate view of the legal system are things that you cannot grasp unless you've lost a loved one to violence.
That's really our big focus, is to let people know that we're out there, to try to let people know that there's a place that they can come and talk to people that are going through what they went through.
She calls this a communications gap. Families want answers, but investigators often cannot provide them for fear of jeopardizing an arrest.
As a victim, I took my great-grandmother's stuff. I wanted to show them that she's a person. This is a life that you're supposed to be working on solving.
It's a problem agencies like OSBI are working to solve. They've added 2 victim services coordinators to give victims any info they can, a service that did not exist when Lehman was seeking justice.
We're kind of an easy outreach liaison for those folks to reach out to if they have questions in general about what's going on in their case. They have information they want to pass on to their agent.
The advocates answer questions.
Why did this have to happen? And what do I do? I don't know what to do. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? What do I do next?
And even help find assistance with things like funeral costs.
Often with crime, there's so many different kinds of financial burdens that start to pile up.
Christy Pinnipata wants victims and survivors to know they are not forgotten.
I care about them, and I want them to know that, and the agents really care about them too. Those things are never off their minds. They often live in those communities.
She owes her role at OSBI to Lehman's work and that of the Homicide Support Group.
The fact that they went from just a couple of people meeting 15, 20 years ago to now they are their own 501c3 is just incredible, and I'm so proud of them. And
Lehman says there's plenty of work still to do.
This is my ending. I didn't get the ending that I wanted, but it's an ending that led me on a path that is still going.